Hello, let's wait a little bit until others join us and then we'll start. Hello everyone, okay, let's start. Welcome to our today's session. So we'll have two sessions in a row, today and tomorrow. So we'll be working on the same things today and tomorrow. So we'll start with the finishing of the task we haven't finished last time. Actually, I checked what was the issue, and the issue was I'll explain it when we go through. So we'll finish it. We will finish all the data into the table. Then we will also try to update the data, and then we can also we'll also read the data from there. But basically, we can do it both ways. Then we'll just do it. Then the next step is to we will go through the Activity06. That was the home task for this today, until today. So I was happily surprised that most of you managed or almost managed to complete this task. It was pretty tricky task, especially when I had with the previous course when they had this task. It was quite complicated for them. Only a few completed it, but you managed to do it, so it's a very good job to everyone, or at least finished. That's also fine, because the task was quite tricky. And then we will finally move to web development. So the plan is we'll definitely start it today, at the end of today, or tomorrow, at the beginning of tomorrow. So we'll go through all three base components of the web development. That's also the agenda for Monday, because we'll definitely not finish all these topics during this week. Tomorrow the plan is, as usual, we'll have 3 hours theory session, and then I will also give you the task related to just creating some simple HTML page, so you can also try to start web development by yourself as well. So basically go through all these topics. But yeah, let's start with what we didn't finish on Wednesday. And as you remember, we were entering the data into the database. So let me quickly open the database we had. So that's the database we had. So we had database week, and we just had 2 tables. And so basically we had this table where we have the list of teams. And the problem was that the data was entered this way. So it was not just one line, but actually the line and the line break here. So that is this way created. So this was the actual entry was the line break here, and that's why it did not work, because we actually checked the program actually checks the entry here. So maybe I will create it as well here, and you will see how does it look, and basically how did I recognize this issue. There's quite interesting thing from theory point of view to understand, to recognize such issue. So basically let's start the program, and let's also put the breakpoint in the same place we had here. So in a moment I will copy paste the path at first. So I'm starting the migration. I'm going to debug mode, and I also did the entering the system print. That's a little bit different. Yeah, let me choose for myself, so we can close it. In this case the data is basically the problem was for other entries, not for this entry. But how you can check it? You can basically let's do it in opposite. Okay, basically that was the only entry which was correct. So I need to be careful here. Basically there was some hidden things. Okay, maybe I will not try to replicate it, but actually there were some hidden symbols there. What you actually need to pay attention to, I want to say, I think you understand it without the actual example, that was the thing you already know, that when you have the tree, if it's the tree set or tree map, as you remember, you should have the ordered collection. So you have the collection here, and collection should be sorted by keys. Yeah? And in this case, you can see the name of the teams, names of the teams. So there are Elvis, Atletico, Barcelona, and so on. And basically, how did I recognize it? I recognized that accidentally, for some reason, Atletico was placed at the end of the tree set. And that was quite confusing because since this is the tree set, we have a string. String implements comparable interface, so it can be compared. We can compare two strings using compare method inside the string, and actually the list was not the list, but the collection was not sorted. Correctly, so it means that something is wrong. There are some hidden symbols or maybe some spaces which you may not see here, but they are actually here, or line breaks and so on. So you need to be careful here, and that was how I recognized that there is the issue with the entry. So basically, I need to be careful when you actually create the data in CSV, because this may trigger some issues. So if we go here, okay, yeah, in this case the data seems to be pretty much, yeah, I already changed it, but yeah, there was the issue with data, so I need to be very accurate when we create the CSV, and then it will work. So okay, let's see what we have next. This issue is solved, and let's check if the data can be migrated. If there are no other issue, seems like not. Let's check if the table is populated. Yes, the table is populated, but unfortunately the points are not entered for some reason, and the reference to the team is not entered as well. That's interesting. Yeah, all other data is in place. That's interesting. Let's then check why it's not entered. And basically, right now we can actually do the update. So with the position is put as the key, so that's really correct. Okay, so let's check. So it means that the issue is on the right here, and so basically right now we can actually do the update. So what will I do? I will comment out this statement, and we will implement the update here. Implement the update. So it will be update table name, and so we should enter the position, where condition, because we will look by position. So it means that position will be moved on where condition. So we basically need to find which entry needs to be updated. So we go here and we put points, well, sorry, not points, but the position and the last, so position, so it should be 8. Here we should remove one question mark because we deleted it here, and here we need to shift the sequence, no, sorry, no, this is direction first, because we just shifted the position at the last place. So So this is done, and here we don't need to just to make it more correct. Let's put execute update, and now we can see, we can check why there's the issue. So I assume that the issue is because it seems that the query is correct, and it was correct before. So I need to check if the points are or not entered in the collection. So to check it, we need to go to the migrate table, and need to check if position is placed correctly. So basically what will I do? Again, I'll debug usually, and then I will sorry, that's I need to go to debug mode, of course. Debug mode, and I will also enter the path. So here we have the table row. Let's double check if the table row is correct. So not the table row, but the current row, sorry. Current row. Now we have the position. So let's see if position is, oh no. Okay, so the position is skipped. The position is skipped, and I assume it is skipped because we have the problem in the columns. That's quite interesting. So we have the position here, and the column was the index 1 or with index 0. So the index is 0. That's position. Check. It's quite interesting. Why the position? Oh. Okay, I think we have the spaces here again. Looks so. Maybe let's check. We check it this way. No, we don't have the line breaks. Position seems to be here. For the other rows, it seems correct, but not for the first row. Yeah, for the second row it's correct. Okay, it's quite strange. Let's say, so maybe we can do it the following way. We can introduce the following value just to double check current column, and then we can move it here just for debugging purpose. I want to read this value. If we just put it into the array, then we cannot really see it in debugger. But if we do it this way, we can check the column name. Check the column name directly in debugger. So let's go, and you can see it here. So the current column is position. So it does not have any spaces, and okay, for some reason it skips the position again. That's a little bit crazy. Let's say that's again a little bit crazy, and it also skips the points. Which seems to be crazy again. We have one, so that may be some conversions with the string, I guess. But what we can do, we can check the following thing. So that's another trick we can use here. We can check if current call equals to position. So that will be just for test. It's quite an interesting task, I would say, because we have so many crazy issues, and most of them are related to the false. Okay, so that's it's current column. So maybe we have some hidden characters as well here, but I don't actually see them. It's quite interesting. Let's say, yeah, it seems that we have some conversion problems with the strings here. So if we open text, let's say notepad, we have position here as well. It's so strange. So strange. Okay, let's keep this printing here. Let's click debug again. Okay, it's still false. It actually says that position is not equal to position, which, as you can see, this is really crazy. Yeah, both of them are strings. That's so crazy. I'm going to quickly check this. I assume there are some hidden characters here. Because this is even equals method, because we have position and we have position, and equals method returns false, even for both same strings, which should not normally happen. Moment, I have one idea. We can try to replace all non-alphabetical characters using regular expressions. So maybe let's try the following thing. So we can do try to replace, and here we can put regular expression. Because I assume that the problem is there are some crazy characters here. So we can try to replace them here. So we Here I exclude all non-alphabetical characters and non-numeric characters from the string. I really hope that this may help us. Let's check. Let's check this. And in the worst case, we can skip this solution for now, and then we can. No, it still doesn't help us. It's pretty crazy, I'd say. Okay, then in the worst case we can skip the position, and so maybe just for this solution I will later check maybe for some possible reason for this, because this is quite a strange issue, I would say, but just for the points we can implement the following. For the position and for the for the points we have the same issue. So the index for the points is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It should be 7. And so for the 7 we get send the points. Alright, so start. Just to be sure we can continue debugging here. I just want to clarify if all the rows are here. So that was not correct input. So this should be path to the file. This one is correct. Okay. Here we have the line break. Yes, that's this one for the value. We can do the following way. We can replace. So that was also hidden character /r, as I remember. We can try, you can see that we have new line here. New line here, and this must be replaced. Let's check it again. Okay, now everything is fine. Everything is fine. Let's check it. So we have 8 table rows. So let's check if okay, we don't have team ID as well. Okay, team ID was missed. That's the second one as well. Okay, then this one should be escaped as well. So we can do it using one more index. So that's first index, or yeah, first index. So we can try to escape it this way. So okay, let's just try to debug, not debug, but to enter the values directly and attempt to run the report. Okay, something is wrong with syntax. Let's check what's What's wrong here? The syntax. We have the update. So let me quickly double check. We have the table name all the things here correct. Actually, we can do it a little bit differently. Just do it this way. So we can skip the values, but we can just put the question marks here. So this would be done this way. So just set all the values here, this way. And at the end we have where, and position is placed at here. Now, okay, let's check it. Let's check it again. Okay, now everything is migrated, and yeah, team ID is still 0 for some reasons. At least all the other fields are here. Okay, let's check why the team was not migrated. So that's the second index. Okay, let's. So since this is done, that we can repeat this operation. This will not provide us any issues. So we are here, and we have the value. Oh, okay, get team ID. So and the team ID is the table row, and then the team ID is okay. Yeah, for 0 for the first team, that's maybe okay. Then we have the second team, and for the second team we have oh, sorry, that's already the previous team, so let's do it this way. So let's move into the next entry. So, and here we have the table row. So this is the table row, and okay, the team ID is 0 for some reason. For which value? Excuse me, for value Real Madrid. Okay, that should not be correct, because the value for Real Madrid is 2. Okay, maybe let's check it once again. Oh, sorry, no, that was my fault. Not position, but of course set team ID. Yeah, that was my fault. It's accidentally start here. Okay, so then we migrate it, and everything should be correct now. And we have corresponding reference to the team. Alright, and right now we can actually perform a read table. So for this purpose, let's create new class. So that will be read. Table, and I will use my method here, and I will also create the method show table. So that's done, and so to show the table week, I would like to have the list of the table rows we have. So that will be week table row, and the list of week table rows. So here we can say it's table rows. Will be new array list as usually. Excuse me, and here we can execute. So first we need to execute the query, but again, before we do it, we need to establish the connection to the database, as we usually do. So this can be done. Well, maybe we can create another method here, just to, and here we can return list of table row just to structureize our program. Excuse me. So then we say get table rows, and then I will just do the following way. So this will be the table rows. Yeah, of course I need to return get and so I will do it right. So now again, let's establish the connection to the database. We can do it here. So that will be connection. We'll start with no, since we use try catch. So then we have try, we have catch, as we usually do. 3. And yeah, here I start with the driver node, so nothing new here. It's MySQL, JDBC, and then I initialize the connection again using driver manager. So here we get the connection, and just copy paste what we had before. So and that will be the name of the database, which is leak. I'll just directly access database. So then I can just simply select from database tables. We don't need out comment here because we will not change the data. So I'll save here. No need for out comment here because we want change the data in the database. So that's small remark in case if you start comment, then for read, if you just perform read operation, then you don't need to do that. Also, you actually don't need to create prepare statement because this is just select query. So it means that you'll just have the result query result set. And then what you can do, that will be results, and what you can do, actually not this, but you can create a statement, you don't need prepared statement here, and here you can execute query, and I will provide the query directly here. So that would be, this way. So and the query will be select star needs all the entries from, and here find the table name. The table name is week table. The where statement seems to be nothing here as well. So, and then what will I do? Let me make my different screen. So here I will look through all the results. So while results is next, so next one is next. We can fill all the results and basically I start with the table row. So let me table row. I'm creating the object here. So again, as you can see, when we when we perform read operation, we use the same object structure as we do for the insert operation. So this is quite universal structure for us. So we enter we set the values. So let's start with the first position. We can get let's we have all integers here. Get integer. Integer would be 1. Yeah, the first column. Then we go next. We say set theme ID, and this will be the second column. So we do the second column. In theory, okay, maybe that's not so relevant for us. It's not overcomplicated. Let's go games played. So this will be results. Get integer, and this is the third column. And the same for other columns. Be sequence. That's the next column. And the next one is set rows. That's the fifth column. Set rules. That's the next column. And we have 2 more columns here. Symbol difference. Symbol difference. That's the seventh element. Set points. That's the 8th. Yeah, we can also provide the names of the columns instead, but in this case that's faster it is faster and we just provide the position of the column index. Right, so now we read all the data. Then the second step is that we also need to get the mapping for the themes, right? Because when we want to read the table, of course we can, in the database we store the ID of the theme, since it's less expensive from the memory point of view if we store the ID, the number of the theme, then we just store the name of the theme, because strings weight more than the digits, than the integers, of course, and that's why we use the IDs to store them inside of tables, especially if we use several database tables. Then it's better to store all the strings in one table, so you will just have 20 strings, and then you have 20 IDs which you then use in other tables. It's better than use 20 strings in all the tables in your database. That won't be a good approach from the memory point of view. So that's why we need to get the mapping from the themes. So that would be again we define the map. So the key, in this case the key will be integer, and the value will be the string. Because in this case the ID is integer, and using the ID we want to get the string. Let it be team map. Then we use tree map. And so here we can also start with it. Let's create a new method for this. We private set void set team mapping. Set team mapping. And yeah, from this point of view, it's better to define the connection here, of course. Define the connection here, just because we're using several methods. So then we can move it this way. We use it in all the objects of my class. Oh yeah, and at the end you can also close the connection. I forgot to do it before, but yeah, we can do it. That's a normal approach. Again, if we want to access it from different threads, then we better close it. So here we set team mapping, and so here again we need to prepare the selection statement, and of course we can just put that this method throws the exception, and then we select from the table teams. So basically here we use the logic we have here. Just copy the logic from here. So here we have result next, and I will simply reuse the logic, but in this case we have the opposite thing. We need to put the ID on the first place, and the name on the second place. And what we can also do, this is what I was thinking about, we can also do inner join here. So that would be, instead of selecting the team ID, we can also use inner join. So it means that we can use select and join to another table. And so we have one table, and for the team name we can join the table teams and then return team name instead of team ID. In this case we don't do it because we have the structure of table row, and it uses team ID, not team name. That's why we can better stick to the approach of using the mapping table. But inner join would be as an option to get the team name, the name of the team. So then we need to call this method. I can basically call it here, for example. So that would be set team mapping. Yeah, please be careful how you name the method, because if you name the method get team mapping, then you should normally have the returning parameter. Otherwise, if you just have set, then it's better to use the method, to call the method set. So yeah, that's maybe the common mistake for most people. Then they name the method like get something, and they actually don't return anything. which from the best practices point of view would not be the best approach. Alright, so this seems to be done, and right now we are ready to show our data. One moment. Yeah, there are different ways how you can actually show data. I have one nice example. A moment, I'll find it from my computer. I thought that I found it, but it's in different library. A moment, I will quickly find it. Give me 1 minute, I will quickly find it. Basically, the way how we normally can display data. Let's quickly check it out. So again, there are many approaches. We can also use something from web development. We can also use SAP GUI, for example. Just a moment, I'm almost found it. Oh, sorry, no, it's not. Okay, maybe let's have 10 minutes break, and after the break, during the break, I will find this approach I used before. So let's. Hmm. Okay, let's continue. So during the break I also checked this issue and I found the reason. The reason is, basically we can again quickly check it, so related to the comparison issue. And that's quite interesting and not really a common issue you may face, not only in Java but in other programming languages as well. So if we go to debugging, what we can do, we can actually check why the comparison returns false. And if we go deeper to the equals method of the string, we can see that it fails at this point. And it actually fails that the coders are different. So basically you can check the coder of the string of our string, that's basically that's position, it is 1. But if we go to the string we are compared to, that's position, it is 0. So basically that's the issue, and I assume that the issue is related to the way the data is saved. So basically what we can do, we can actually try to save our file into the different format. So if we go here, then if we go here and we go to the weeks table, so we can try to edit it using Notepad++. Then we go to save as, and here we can try to be really careful. How do we save the file? So if we go to the, so it should be CSV. No, that's not C programming. Here. Okay, Notepad++, it should normally offer us CSV contents. Okay, then that's not the huge problem, we can do it using Excel as well. It's basically no difference. Actually, I would recommend you to use, that's from my experience really nice program, it's LibreOffice, because basically if you have some issues with CSV, then LibreOffice is really nice option to use. It works, that's free, it works quite okay, and it does not require any special setup. So let's try to save it here. I provide Unicode UTF-8. Okay, so maybe let's check now. If this Unicode will not work, I will try to use UTF-16. That's the similar one. Okay. So let's basically we can check directly already here. So that's current column. Okay, the coder is, I think that the coder is still incorrect. Oh, sorry. Yeah, the coder is still incorrect. So okay, that's quite strange. Okay, then let's try to use UTF-16. Oh no, that definitely won't help us. Okay, it's quite strange situation, because this should because string coder so basically, yeah, it is Latin 1, and so we need UTF-16. Okay, then maybe let's try to save it in UTF-16 format. We can use library office. So then we go here, then we save it, then we can use CSV. Some filter settings, let's replace it. Yes. Let's try to maybe use UTF-16. Because yeah, this is quite, let's say, it's quite strange format. Oh, sorry, no, that's for LibreOffice. That was my setting. I'm sorry. I need to change it a little bit. Yeah, I added also the quotation marks for strings, which is my setup. So no, quote text cells. Let's double check again. So when you work with CSV files, it's better also to double check if everything here is correct. Okay, everything is correct. Then we go here, and let's check it again. So we have the current okay, so here we go. Here we have the issue. The issue is that we have some hidden characters here, and this is what I basically said. And yeah, also the next token is okay, and then it's so strange. Okay, for this case, I think the yeah, that was basically, yeah, in this case, don't worry, that's not the typical case. I think the problem was that I just directly copy-paste the values from the website, and the encoding for them was not recognized correctly. So basically, what can I do? I can try to maybe copy these values, and I'll say we have teams, say week table. So week table 2. We can also define it as CSV. Then we can use LibreOffice, or we can use Excel. Then let's say that we paste the values. And in this case, I really hope that those are correct, or maybe, what can I do? I can just simply rewrite position here, because yeah, there may be some different encodings here, and also for points. Okay, what's the issue? Let me check it. And what else was it? It was also for team, or not so for team, I don't remember, but let's just try to go this way. Okay, so let's try again. So yeah, when you copy paste the data from somewhere, be careful. This may trigger such problems. Alright, now we're here. Oh, sorry, that was okay. Okay, a moment. That was also the trick that I created the file as CSV, but I just directly changed the encoding time, and that was serious mistake, because I need to change the extension here and only here, nowhere else I can change it, because otherwise the format will stay the same. Because I think that was quite typical issue. So when you change the format for CSV for Excel to CSV, if you just change the format, it actually does not change anything. It just changes the name of the file. The content stays in Excel format. So basically, you need to do it from Excel or from other editor. In this case, now everything's fine. So let's try again. Copy paste the pause. Let's check what do we have now. Okay, from this position, and we have correct order. It seems that we have correct order. Oh, not. No, we still do not have correct encoder. Encoder of the current string is 1, and we are searching. Oh, okay, and the encoder is okay, that's maybe quite interesting issue, but that's related to the file format. That's not the issue. It's not Java issue. That's not the problem in the code. That's just specifically only the file problem. But okay, we can correct it a little bit later, not today maybe. But yeah, the concept is that there is the problem with the file editor, not with the code. So in this case, we can skip it right now and just use the indexation. That's also fine approach. Okay, so let's now switch to the rows. I got the code written once, so we can just reuse it. So there is we can to display the data, we can actually use text table object type. That's the type we can use for the text output, for the column output. So first of all, what we need to do, we need to have the strings where we name the columns. Where we name the columns, so that will be column names. And this will be the array of strings, and this will represent the strings we have, the columns we have. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 columns. We have 8 columns, and we need to name them. So the first one is position. Then the second one is team. Then the third one is games point. And the next one is wins. Then we have rows. Then we have loses. Then we have row difference. Then we have the points, and yeah, that's it. So we have all the column names, and the next step for us would be to actually create the data we can put to the table. And can let me think. And here we have different options. I think we can try to stick with the integers, I would say. Oh no, we cannot. Here we have one really interesting problem, because we will display the data as the, so we can have different data type for the data. We can have integers, we can have strings, and we actually need to represent them in one way. But yeah, the type for the row will be the type for all the elements will be the same. So basically, I use here the following solution. I just we need to have the array list, of course. We need to have the array list, and I can provide the array list the array list as the as the object list. So that will be the arrays of object. We have the array because each one will be the row, yeah, and the row will be represented using the array, and the list will represent us all the rows, the collection of the rows we have. And here I can name data, and I create a new array list. Yeah. So again, we use object. I'll write a comment here. We use object here to be able to store different types of the values. For example, it can be a string or integer in the table, in the row, if we are more precise here. All right. So and now we need to go through all the rows. So while we have iterator, of course. So that would be iterator. The table row, that's the iterator, and we get it from the table rows. So, and as usually, we go through all the rows. So what we has next? We now need to set the data. And in this case, we won't have the array with the same dimensions, but I can name it column values. And we have object as the type. So here we have new object, and we have 8 columns here. So and now we need to it doesn't matter at which one we get the next row. So let's say row, and I get the next from the iteration. Alright, so this is done, and now we can set all the columns here. Column values. We start with the first one, that's the position, and we get position. Yeah, we don't need to do any upcast, so since we do the upcasting here, we don't need to point to the program to actually do the casting. So then we get the, and yeah, here we need to get the mapping. So it means that I use the map and I get the name based on the ID. So this will get team ID, and then I get the column, the value for team, the actual team name. So then I just repeat all the same operations for the game exploit. For instance, on this bit row, get game exploit. Then I do it for the wins, right? Wins. Then I do it for the draws. And then I do it for the losses, for the goal difference, and for the points. So now I've filled all the columns here, and now I need to add, of course, I need to add the row to the data, of course, so I can call values. So each column will be added here, and the result, I will create the text table. So that's the text. Yeah, that comes from another package. Yeah, so I need to add the dependency, of course. So a moment, I will get name and dependency. So that's just to be correct, that's DNL utils text text table. So again, I go to Neyman. So alright, here we have it. I can do the balancing now. So I can put it here. Save it. So it's loading. Alright, so let's check now. Alright, here we have text table. So we have the text table, and now we can actually fill this text table. We create actually the object, so that will be so text table. We create text table, and I provide the column names and date. What's the issue? The string and oh yeah, moment. Yeah, one more thing. We cannot really use array list here because we need to. Yeah, as you can see here, it needs to have not the array list, but the object with two-dimensional array. So basically for this purpose we can create another method, and I would say that this method will transform array list into two-dimensional array. So here we will have the list with this guy. You can reuse this method after that. We create a new object array here, so that will be two-dimensional array. So that's the array, and the dimension of the array is basically what we can do. Oh, first we need to write the array is here, so that will be object, and the dimensions are, so we actually get the size that we need the first dimension, and the second dimension can be we can detect it, let's say this way. So we actually get the first element. We can detect it by first element. Once again. It also has the option, and of course again we'll return it. And now we can actually transform array list into the array. But actually we can what I think actually we can use the method to array, but yeah, it will not work because it does not return. Okay, then that's fine for us. Yeah, I think that's fine for us. Nothing to do. Okay, needs to debug, not debug, but iterate through the list, and then we can actually put all the elements down. So here we have iterator. Or no, in this case we'll not use the iterator, I'm sorry. We will use simple for loop, because we'll need to have I index to place the element into the array. So then I is less than the size of the list, and we increment I. And we assign the point I equals to list get I. And then we return the array list, the array, and the end. So, and right now we can actually do what we wanted before. We provide the data. Right now it should be correct, and now we can print the table. Print the table, and let's see what do we have. So that's read table. Now we can actually call everything from here. So that will be read table and read table, and now I call the method. So the method is show read table. So something may be wrong. Let's check if we have any issues or not. Now we have the issue, and so this is the first issue we had, and it means that something was wrong here. I suppose that it's wrong here. So let's debug and check if there is any data to show. Actually, so we have table rows. Yeah, the table rows is interesting that nothing was fetched from the database. And so let's see why. So we go here and start debugging. Connection should be established. I hope so. But nothing is broken with the connection. We set team mapping. And here we should get the results. And do we have any results here? Yes, we have the results. Oh, yeah, that was my fault. I forgot just to add the rows into the table rows at the end. Sorry, my fault. Let's see now. Yeah, and now we can actually see that almost everything is correct except the position. Yeah, that because I did not enter the position here, just accidentally entered the points twice. Okay, let's check again. And yeah, now everything is correct. We have the table, and comparing to the database itself, we have the team name here instead of team ID. We have this output. So that's what we have. Alright, so that's pretty much it about this task. Most likely something like this will be the part of your final assignment in this course. I mean, data migration, the databases, tables. So this you may need to use this at the end of this course. Alright, so this is done, and the next step is to go through the Activity06. There's some changes, but that's just for myself. So what you have to do here, just to go fully. It's so the task was to create the human class, the human and the Martian class. So we can actually repeat, just to do all these steps what are needed. And let's yeah, I will maybe do it a little bit differently, just to show you that this may be a better approach. But it actually doesn't matter how you do it from the result point of view. In addition to the previous classes, just to make it more better, I would like to create the class which represents the humanoid. So that will be humanoids. So I'll create additional class here. I mean, that's just for better practices. You have to use the best practices. Since in unit tests it is not prohibited to create not in unit tests, but in these tasks to create additional classes. It's not restricted. It's not restricted. You can, if you want, you can create additional classes. And so in humanoid class, I would like to create the method for the affected integer that will be weight, because this is actually the better approach to use, because this class, this task originally should normally be protected. Originally should normally be should normally use the abstract classes. Abstract classes, and we can also use the interfaces. So here we create public void eat, and for human eat, so humans eat integers only. That was the part of the task, and so basically, if food is null, so there's nothing to eat, we just do nothing. If what we eat is instance of integer, so we check if we are human and we eat integer only, and so what we eat is not null, is not 0, I mean. Then we return again nothing, because that as part of the requirement of the task, which is required to not eat again if we have something already in our stomach. If we already had something, not we, but the human. Else, if if we can use if, in this case that will be the same. So if we check if we accidentally add not integer, so if we add not integer and it's it's not null, it's null, then again we return nothing. And else we can actually add food and do that. So, and here we can also add some methods. Basically we'll add one method, and the method is get weight. And this will just return the weight. Again, it's better to have this method here, because here we have all the attributes, and these attributes may be inherited as well. So, and what will I do? I will basically, now I can create the class human, and we will stick to the requirement. So we have the class human, and it will extend the humanoid class, and it will implement humanoid interface. So now we need to I will use the attribute is alive to check if human is alive or not. And now I need to implement all the methods. So maybe let's just go one by one. We start with the constructor, and we should set the default values. Default values is that we have not eaten anything, and the weight is the birth weight, and birth weight comes from the humanoid class, and the birth weight is 2, so we should use this constant. We should use this constant here, and we can also, so if there's no weight provided, then we use the constant. Otherwise, if the weight is provided, then we can set weight. Alright, so this is done. Yeah, then we can start implementing the methods. So the method method E is not needed. So this is already implemented, but what we need to implement is the method we can start with kill himself. So that will be kill himself, and means that but the human kills itself. And we should return that it is not alive anymore. Let me test this. Just it returns the method that it's not alive. Okay, so then we have vomiting, and as I remember, this was the tricky part for the previous course. Basically, here we can actually vomit not the integer, not the object, but we can actually change it to integer. This will help actually this class to provide the right result. So then we have vomiting, and it means that we reduce the weight of the human. Then it also means that we need to get the previous weight. In this case, return. So it means that previous is the current one. So that's how much did we vomit here, not we, but again the human. And I exchange the value to 0, and I return the number which was previously there. Alright, so this is done. Then I need to implement the method is alive. So then I need to just do some string some string returnings here. So if human is alive, then I return that human is alive. Otherwise, I return that. Right, so this is done. Then need to implement the method to string, and here I will return the following. So human, so then I get the weight, then I use the square brackets, then I check return, and then I also put the square brackets. I close the square brackets. And the last two methods are get eaten item. So that would be, to be honest, moment. Yeah, that was. No, that was not needed, I guess. Oh, yeah. Maybe I think that's maybe enough for this. And the last one, the craziest one, was the class Martian. And here was the issue, not the issue, but the tricky point was the cloning. So first of all, we again provide that it extends the humanoid class, and it implements the alien, humanoid, and clonable as well, because we will need to clone the Martian. So here we create again the constructor, we set the weight, and the weight should this time come from the alien interface. Then we set we create the parameterized constructor the same way as we did for the human class. So then here we set the weight provided, and now we can override the method eat, and this will actually make this should work the following way. Comparing to the humans, so as you can see, human can eat only integers, but the Martians can also eat humans. That's why we define here that Martians eat object, not integer. And as it was stated in the task, if it already has something inside the stomach, then it does not eat anymore. Otherwise, we set that the item is eaten, and if the Martian eats, so using instance of, we can check what does it eat. So if it's humanoid, then we just simply get the weight of the item. So yeah, and then we increase it, and we kill human, because human is humanoid. It will be better because it's already eaten. Humanoid is eaten here. Otherwise, if that's instance of integer, if the instance of integer, so it means that no one should be killed here. We just cast to integer, and we increment. So we just add the weight, and we add the integer to the weight. And then we have vomiting. So here we have vomiting, we vomit the object. And here the implementation will be similar way. So we check if there is something to vomit. If there is nothing to vomit, then we return nothing. If inside the stomach there is humanoid, if there's the humanoid inside the stomach, then we need to reduce the weight. So the weight will be reduced by the weight of humanoid. And then we would not return. Else, if inside the stomach there is the integer, we just simply need to subtract the integer from the weight. Yeah, and then we can again swap the values to the current object. It's this eaten. Then I just swap the values, and I return what was in the stomach before. So basically just return the content of the stomach. So, and then the the crazy thing, but we will have actually two clone methods. So first of all, we will have the simple clone method, which comes from the super class, from the object class. That's the cloning method which returns one. But what we will do, we will not return the cloning from the super class, but we will define a new method here, which will be the private method, and this will be the method clone. The reason for this is because so comparing to the simple cloning, how the simple cloning works, it just basically creates the new instance of the object with all the same parameters it has. Right? So if you are the person, if the object is the person, let's say, and it has name, surname, birthday date, let's say, and so on. And yeah, let's say it has only these three parameters. Then if you clone the person, you will have just another object with different instance number, but also with the same name, with the same surname, and with the same birth of date. But what may be the problem? The problem may be that in some cases, when we talk about, let's say, if we have if the object is computer, if the object is the computer, then we know that all the computers have the processors, let's say, and the processor, this is also the reference type because it has some parameters, it has some functions, so it's also the object. So here we have the composition of the objects, and in this case, when we clone the computer, we cannot just do that. We clone the computer, so we have the two different computers with the same parameters. But so what this will mean, it means that if we just simply clone the computer, then we will define it in the way that we have actually the same processor, I mean the same object, the same processor located in both computers, which of course is unreal situation. Yeah, it cannot be possible that the same processor is located on both computers. I mean the same physical processor, right? Then that's impossible. And what we need to do, we actually need to clone everything what is located also inside the computer. So it means that we should also clone the processor in this case. And yeah, this is what we have here. We have the if this is the person, okay, that's quite simple. But if this is the Martian, we can say that the Martian can eat another Martian. So it means that we should clone another Martian as well, because we cannot just simply say that two different Martians have the same Martian located in their stomachs. Of course, that doesn't make sense. We should also clone the Martian located inside the stomach, or not only the Martian it can be, but it can also be the person. And that's why we need to basically clone all the objects located inside the stomach. That's why we cannot simply use the cloning method from the superclass, but we need to define another method. So how this will work? First of all, we need to check what is the instance of the object we're trying to clone. Yeah, of course, we need to clone this one, because this will be, here we will use recursion. This will be recursion. It means that this method will clone itself. No, this will call also the method clone. So it actually means that yeah, it will call itself, and then it actually needs to provide what we are currently cloning here. Yeah, that's why we should pass the type. So, and I check if we are trying to clone integer, or trying to clone integer, I'll integrate. Because for the integers there is nothing actually to clone. So that's just return current. If it's null, then we return null. That's also not tricky here, but if we try to clone the Martian, then this may be considered as the tricky case. So the current Martian. So we cast it because at this point we do not know which type is it. We will be downcasting, and that's why we need to provide the type here. Alright. So we have current Martian, and then we need to clone the Martian. So with that here we have new Martian. So, and we need to write weight, of course, because the weight should be copied as well. And then we actually set the stomach here, but yeah, that's why I needed to create the method for the human class. No, for human class. Sorry for the moment. Oh no, I will create. Yeah, now I need to create method set item. Yeah, we'll need to also create method set item. So this will be actually divide the logic here. And then that's part of the board first. And then I set item to here, and also I can get I think I have this item. Okay, and the same to be done for the human class as well. Right. Or, maybe we can actually put it in the human class as well. And now we don't need to do it for the Martian because this will actually be inherited. So, and now we can set what is eaten by the current Martian, and of course it should also be cloned. This is what I said. And here we use the precaution. What the current Martian has eaten. And only after that we can say that the Martian is fully cloned. Okay. So we need to clone the wall content of the stock of the Martian. Yeah. So, and for the human this should be easier. So for the human this should be easier because humans cannot eat the humans, only the integers. So for this case that should be simple. I create new human. I actually cast the human here. I get weight, and I set item to the human, and here I will actually get Then I use the casting here, and I will get eaten. So what do we have here? Okay. Yeah, we have another bracket here, and then we should do that. Excuse me. And yeah, here I return increment. Right. This is done. And basically I've covered all the possible cases, so otherwise I can return just example. Alright, so this is done, and basically the last point would be that we define as string. So regarding to string method, we have Martian here, and we have the weight, and then again we need to add the brackets. This is pizza. Let's quickly check. So for kill self, yeah, I think that should be fine. So we have, oh no, we don't have kill himself method. Alright, but yeah, basically kill himself. You can also move it to the you can actually also move it to the oh no, sorry. In this case we cannot do it. Because for the alien class we should implement default method. And we should say that it's that the aliens are immortal. And the same is here. Defaults. We'll say I'm immortal. For all the other things, all that should be fine. Okay, and yeah, in this case for the Martian, then we need to return it. Yeah, because in this case we'll have the issue that kill himself should be detected from the alien class. So then for kill himself we need to return an alien from the alien class. Then this should be correct, and his life should be returned from there as well. And right now I don't have any issues. Let's quickly check if nothing is missed. Maybe something could be missed. Just quickly check it. Yes, something is missed, and okay, yeah, now I selected the simple method in the human class. Let's check what did we miss here. Get weight is not implemented, okay. Let's check if get weight is not implemented. Yes, it's not implemented. So let's then do it. Well, it should be implemented. Oh no, that's something there. Okay. Yes. Actually, this is implemented in the human class. Okay, then you can simply do it this way. Let's check if this will work. Okay. For human to string is not implemented as well. But no, sorry, it's implemented. Oh, yes, okay, you can see. It is not implemented. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah, it's not implemented. You can see it's highlighted here. And yes, did I miss it? Okay, but yeah, it comes from the superclass, so should not be the problem. Should not be the problem. Let's check again. Okay, so this is done. Yeah, basically the same issues for the Martian class. Okay, I'll just simply let's just so I can just quickly compare what is missed and I'll just add it. So for the Martian class, we have we do not. We should also have Martian integer. It expects. Okay. It basically comes from the superclass, so from this point of view, that's just for unit test. Okay. Gateway is not implemented. Okay, we can actually get it. And flow should be public. Okay. So gateways. That's integer as well. So let's check. What do we have now? Okay, then the next thing. Okay, there's no exclamation mark. So let's quickly add it. Yeah. Alright. This is done. And let's see now. Okay, the last thing. There was the weight error. The weight error from that's with Martian class. That's most likely done during deploying, so let's quickly check it here. During deploying. So that's correct. And then that's correct when we create new Martian. Then for set item, that's correct as well. And then for the human, Oh no, so that's it. Once weight error expected 28. It was 20. It was -1. Okay, moments. So that's. That's it. Okay, super fold it. Oh, yeah, that was. Alright, so then we can actually double check it. Oh, sorry. Or let's quickly check it. Yeah, we can actually just copy paste both from there. So for the integer, that's fine. If yeah, okay, that's basically what is correct if we return this response. So for this point of view, I think nothing is incorrect here. The weight, that's the birth weight for the alien, and we set it here. Okay, so the issue will be after we eat. So if we eat the human meat, if we eat the human meat, then we should add the weight. That's correct. Okay, then we should kill itself. And we should also, if that's the integer, then we should add the weights to the item. There is the way how we can check what's going on here. What's going wrong and for the machine. Bonds. Okay, then maybe that's about the vomiting there. Okay, then let's check the vomiting. So if the eating is not as correct, then we should reduce. Then we should reduce the weight by what is eaten already before. Okay, then let's maybe try to debug. There may be one problem with debug. And then there's the timeout. There's the timeouts. And yeah, okay, so here was the issue. The issue was that the item was not set before. The item was not set before, and it was not set before. Let's then check. Okay, you can also debug unit tests. That's also a possibility, but there may be the issue with the timeout. And we want to also show you how can we escape it. Okay. That's interesting. Seems that nothing was eaten before. Okay, and So check this one. Means that okay, it's interesting. It actually means that the one it did not eat anything before one it. Yes, so here comes the default, the integer, step into. Oh, yeah, here's the issue. I got it. And not, but it's greater than 0. Because for initial value for the for the weight is -1. Okay, anyways, just double check. Can and then we just implement the current weight and we set yeah, you can see that we have the timeout here. So that's why it doesn't work. Because of the timeout. But I can wait to show you how can we escape this. How can we escape this issue? Okay, maybe the last thing is, let's again check what do we have, where we want it. Here, I think that we have here, machine, sorry. So here we look. Can we skip this one? Try again, and then we'll try to want it. And again, it says that the item is no, but it's not correct. Okay. So, one quick moment for tool V2, we will remove all breakpoints, and then we will put the breakpoint here. Again. So, this case, let's again go through codes and okay, in this case it's already gone. So, okay, then the last thing what we can do here is again check what happens here and why does it fail during the vomiting. Let's do that again. Okay, so it's okay, so at this point it did not fail. We eat something. Okay, and so the item is not twice, no, it should not be in this case. Okay, so the issue is here. It's we just so here the vomiting is correct, but why do we have a situation that the item is not here, and for the integer. So in this case, yeah, this is not so interesting anymore. Okay. Yeah, so not equals. Yeah, that was the issue. That was the issue. Let's check again. And now everything's fine. Yeah, so yeah, here's the issue. I accidentally put not equals instead. I accidentally put equals instead of not equals. But okay, that was fine. Once again, sorry, they will not have the second break. But we'll finish just there. That's fine for you. So now we're finished with this activity. Maybe tomorrow I will also show you how can we debug the unit tests. Is this maybe helpful for you? In this case, you can see that we can debug this way, but the problem is why it was just failed because there's the timeout. There's the timeout set for the. Quickly, just explain you. When we go to the actual GTM library, here we have the. I think that was the boss. For the unit tests, and as I remember here there was the timeout. So, to be honest, I'm not really sure where was it. Let me quickly check it. Oh, so I think that was here. Test sheet, and here we have GTM test class. Yeah, so here we have the global timeout, and so basically it comes from this test, and we can see that the timeout is set to 10 seconds. So basically tomorrow I will show you how can we basically comment out this code. Of course you can do it in the way that you decompile GTM, GR, then you actually change it, then you compile it again. You can do it, but there is another option, and I will show you most likely tomorrow. But yeah, this may be real helpful to debug your codes during unit tests. Alright, but now finally we are ready to move. Of course, in case you have any questions, you can always ask. And now we are moving to the development. So basically, just before we start, I showed you once how do we use HTML, and basically what is HTML. It's something similar to XML, and basically when we talk about web development, we have as the main part we have these three things. Actually, in theory, we can also we should have CSS as well. And basically, we usually talk about if this is web development, then it's usually HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So these are three key things which cannot be replaced in the web development. Again, even if you use any framework or you use Java, it can be develop applications based on Java or PHP or any other programming language, you can actually not escape using these three things. And basically, whatever you develop, at the end you will generate these three things. But again, this is related to the actual already generated web pages. But to generate, we can actually use whatever we want, and also Java and any other language. But yeah, that's maybe the small remark before we start. And Let's actually start with the presentation. No, start there, but we'll continue tomorrow. Yeah, so I did the presentation from Massachusetts University Institute of Technologies. So then, let's start with HTML. Here. So basically, yeah, what is HTML? That's hypertext markup language. We use it to create web pages. Not, I would say, create and actually define web pages, because whatever you see on the web, it comes from HTML. And using it, so if you have HTML code, you can generate it in any way you want. Then you actually create web page with text, graphics, sounds. That maybe sounds a little bit crazy, but you will actually you will point to the source, to the sound, again the video, any design the tables, and lots of other things. Right. So that's fine. Basically, how do we create HTML, and what is placed inside HTML? Basically, everything the same as for XML. The structures are pretty much similar, and also there are some tools which actually use XML to generate HTML pages. Everything is based on the tags. So you have a starting tag, and it's comparing to HTML or comparing to XML. It's not mandatory to have the closing tag. So, for example, the line breaks. There's such a tag. We'll use it later, but it's called BR for the line. It's used for the line break, and for BR tag you do not need to have a closing tag, but this is the line break. So it means that you have only one comment there. For all the tags. And but if you have the opening and closing tag, then anything what is located inside this tag, in between the opening and closing tag, this is affected by the properties defined in the tag. So basically something similar to what we have in XML. So then the opening and the closing tags use the same command, except the closing tag contains additional forward slash. So the same as for XML, we have the name of the tag, and then we have the closing tag. Comparing to XML, as you know, in XML we just write XML file, and then we just define any name we want. So any tag name we want. This just represents the object in the data. In HTML, the tags are predefined. So it means that each tag has its own unique function to do, and you cannot define actually your own tags in this case. That's comparing to HTML, XML, when you can simply define any tags you want, but at the end you will just have the document as a result. In HTML, all the tags are predefined and by HTML language. For example, if you have the expression be in warning, this will actually put the warning text to the bold. And yeah, also consider that the letter is in uppercase, but usually we use lower cases for the tags, and the tags are not case. No, the tags are not case sensitive in HTML, but we usually stick to approach using the lowercase for the tag names. Yeah. So opening closing tag and what's in between this will be affected by the tag. Also, you can have nested tags. This is basically something similar to what we already used in XML. So it means that so we have the definition of the first tag, and we have the definition of the inner tag, and the content is in the middle between all these. So what does it mean? It means that, like in this case, of course we must hold layer sets from HTML perspective. This will not be the issue if you just put closing tag of I after H1, but again, the normal approach and the correct approach would be to simply put them this way. But yeah, also for HTML, you will not, there is no something like exceptions or something like that, so you will basically, if your HTML code is not correct, then you will just, you won't see anything. It won't work in the worst case. If it will not produce you any exceptions, any errors, so yeah, you will just see that your page is not working. So that's quite interesting thing about HTML. You will never see the errors related to the incorrect writing for HTML. That's the property. Just it won't work. But yeah, in this case, what will happen? You will have the first header. So H1, that's the, we'll see it later, but that's it. Defines the header paragraph. H1 means that this is the large header paragraph. There's H2, which will be a little bit smaller header paragraph. Then H3 is even more smaller. H4 is even more smaller, and so on. And I means italic. Yeah, so it means that in this case, the text will be replaced on the header. It will be defined as header, and it will be in italic. Then the structure of HTML page. For all the HTML pages, the structure, the main structure, is pretty much the same. So basically, first you have the opening and closing tag of. Basically, you can, in fact, for HTML, you can actually skip closing tags for HTML and body. That should normally, that will always work. But yeah, of course, you better define everything with a closing tag. That's arguably the best approach and the only correct approach from the best practice point of view. So we have the head, that's the header. Like in this case, you can see that the title is placed on the header. That's quite the usual approach. Also, we will see it later, but for HTMLs, we usually use includes. So what does it mean? It means that we include the files or the references to the files. And these files are usually the styles, we'll talk about CSS a little bit later, or the JavaScript calls. But yeah, in fact, it's just the link to another file. And then you just provide the source of the file, and it means that this file will be used in your code, and we usually do it. We usually define it under the header. For the styles, we do it under the header. For the scripts, we do it mostly somewhere in the end, but yeah, that's a different story. So yeah, just to understanding that if we have something to import, it can usually be done in the head section. So that's header, and once the header is defined, then we go to body. Body, that's actually the body of the page. So basically any page you see in the website, that's HTML page, and it mostly has header and body under it. Yes, and basically everything, main content, is located under body. The title tag. The title tag, that's the title of the web page. It determines its ranking in certain search engines. So basically, that's basically the name of your page. It's appearing favorite list, history list, bookmark, first time, so on. So basically, that just defines your page, the name of your page when you open it. You can also, there's when in the header, as I said, you can add some images. You can also define the logo of your browser. For example, right here we have the logo. This is also defined under the header. So let's let's make the data, and I think that's the right one. I think that's the link to the icon, so it's also linked in the header. So we can also define the property of your page. Then text formatting. It can be tricky. Because there are so many things there. And in fact, what you see is not what you get. That's also true. For example, there are some special HTML tags needed to create the paragraphs, to run style, and create headings. So then basically there are different ways how to define the code. So for example, what you can do, you can define a heading, but on the other hand, you can actually define the style, which will basically repeat anything what heading tag does. But again, that depends on what you write. Okay. So, for example, for text formatting tags, we mostly use several of them. So that's maybe bold. If we want to highlight something in bold, then we have italics. Then we can use another one, which is UP for the paragraph, and what I mentioned, BR, that's the line break. And as I said, for the line break, you do not need the closing tag. Right? So that's about it. And also basically HTML is quite it's often used in some reports. You can actually write some reports, and then when it is converted to HTML code, it usually can be converted to HTML code, then HTML is recognized there as well. Also sometimes, whether you work in IT or somewhere else, when you need to write somewhere the code, the description of the product as an example, you need to enter it somewhere. Then you will also see, you also have the option also for the emails as well. Yeah, it's the name of the project or the emails. Basically, any place where you can create text, define the text, define the content. You can actually define the HTML content there, and this will actually parse your, let's say, email to the right content with all the right formatting and so on. In HTML, obviously, you can also change the font you're working with. So in this case, again, holding text be used, but this is maybe not the common approach I used in my experience. I usually just have the I do it mostly with CSS classes, but yeah, that's also related to fonts, so you can just simply define it under CSS, or again, as I said, you may add some linkages, links to the styles, like fonts, and then just simply include the fonts definition in your HTML code, and then your HTML code will have the corresponding font tag. But yeah, you can also use font expression. You can define the fonts. Also, again, all the fonts by default are available for your HTML page. So, again, using the imports, you can actually also import the fonts from some. It's going to be a file, or you can actually also import from using the direct links on that, where you can also import the fonts. And yeah, also you can also define the size. That's obvious. Right, so to change the color, you use font color, then define the color. It can also be defined using basically for the colors, it's really interesting because HTML gives you many different ways how to name the color. So you can just simply write red, white, black, and so on. But you can also define the hexadecimal representation. You can also use RGB. So you just define all the coordinates of RGB, and this will also return you actual color there. Maybe there are more formats, but I used these three. In the simple name, then hexadecimal and RGB. Don't worry, first, this is white color. Just all the apps, this is white color. So don't worry, most of the modern editors, they just have all these conversions. So basically, when you type color, then you press Ctrl space, you will just quickly show you the sample. Moment. New my editor. Moments. I will open the file. So that's let's say that this will be this file. don't worry about the syntax, I will explain a little bit later. Okay, maybe I can find this red. So in this case that will be red. But you can also okay, maybe this was not let me quickly maybe I'll better open the CSS file. So let me open it. So we usually do it under CSS. And yeah, so where here when you define the color, so in this case it doesn't matter. So color. And then when you press oh yeah, so basically when you type, yeah, that's how we should be done crazy way, but when you type on the color, then you can actually select any color what you want, and this will produce the right hexadecimal value. So you can just copy paste from somewhere else and then just simply navigate to it, and then you can select any color you want. And some more modern IDEs provide you this one, and you just simply to select. You just look and select the right hexadecimal or RGB, whatever you want, color. And yeah, you can also combine these attributes, and there are no limits how many attributes can be placed under the HTML text. So anything you put there, this will be considered as the property for all the elements located under the tag you define. Yeah, also there may be some conflicts in between tags, like you have one tag, then you put another tag into the current tag, then you define the same attribute there but with different value, and in this case the attributes defined, there may be different situations, but normally the value of the attribute will be overridden. Sometimes it won't be overridden, and in this case there is such option I will show later called important. So for the style parameters, you can put that the parameter is important, the value is important. So it means that the value will be prioritized over the other values. But yeah, I will show it a little bit later, most likely tomorrow. Alright, so yeah, okay, we have headings, but for today, time is out. So yeah, so it means that we'll continue tomorrow. Thank you for your attention today, and meet you in the morning tomorrow. We'll continue with HTML. Okay, thank you very much, and see you all tomorrow night.